Good evening, one and all. We welcome you. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute, Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. So before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Yeah. So this day we have a few weekly commemorations. This week is also commemorated as Brain Awareness Week, annually celebrated in third week of March globally, aiming to foster public enthusiasm and support for brain science. There are over 100 billion neurons in the human brain. These neurons are the information messengers They transmit information between different brain areas. And we have so much more to discover and learn about our brain. Brain research allows us to understand our biology and body function better, which empowers medical professionals to find ways to prevent or treat brain nervous system and body problems. This is exactly what brain awareness aims to achieve. The human brain is the most complicated organ in the body. The complex organ consists of many different parts, each responsible for a certain function or set of functions. It controls everything we do, from basically body functions like breathing and heart rate to more complex things like decision making, memory, and language. The brain is also responsible for communicating with other organs in your body through chemical messengers called hormones. But have you ever wondered how the brain works? Have you been curious to know what goes on inside your head every day? This is why the Dana Foundation organizes Brain Awareness Week. Brain Awareness Week is all about increasing public awareness of the program, progress and benefits of brain research. It lets people know about the progress in brain research and the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of brain disorders. The Data Archive for the Brain Initiative, DABI, organized the first Brain Awareness Week to bring together government agencies, academic personnel, advocacy organizations, and other professionals. The goal was to unite them with the common theme that the brain research is a hope for treatments, preventions, and possible cures for the brain diseases and disorders. After all, these years since its founding, Brain Awareness Week has grown as a global education initiative with more than 7,300 partners, including participating in 120 countries. So let's support and raise awareness about the significance of brain research and ensure a better quality of life at all ages. Dana Alliance initiates the idea for Brain Awareness Week, which he coordinates through Dana Foundation in 1995. The first Brain Awareness Week is celebrated involving 160 organizations in the United States in 1996, and the US President Barack Obama announces the brain research through Advancing Innovative Neurotechnologies Brain Initiative in 2013. The 2021 Brain Awareness Week campaign witnessed events held in 45 countries and 32 states in 2021. So the Brain Awareness Week is celebrated in the third week of March every year. So the dates change accordingly. The study of brain and nervous system, including the structure, function, and disorders, is called neuroscience. Scientists and researchers use several advanced devices and strategies to understand working brain better. Some of these include magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, encephalogram, EEG, and positron emission tomography, PET, are used to conduct research on the brain. The brain is probably the greatest organ in the human body and is full of mysteries and spectacles waiting to be discovered. So learn more about human brain from books, internet, and other sources. Invite a brain research professional or anyone well-versed in this space and organize an event in your community, online or offline, to share the wonders of the brain science. Become a Brain Awareness Week partner and register. So your brain can survive for 5 to 6 minutes without any oxygen. So brains are tough. As we grow older, it becomes difficult to learn new things because our brains can't filter old memories and observe new ideas. So old brains can't learn much unless and until you train them. The brain is one of the fattiest organs in the body, comprising 60% fat. Our brains is 73% water, and it takes only 2% dehydration to affect your memory and other cognitive skills. So next time you think about water, not drinking water, then remember you are going to lose your memory and other cognitive abilities. So always take enough water, daily 5 to 7 liters of water. According to research, it isn't until about the age of 25 that the human brain reaches full maturity, of course, but the most of the development takes place by 6 years. And studying and researching the brain helps us find ways to unlock the full potential of the human mind. The brain is a fascinating organ, but the challenge of brain research is also great. With enough awareness and education, we can encourage many people to do research on brain and find many great things. Brain diseases like dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, strokes, and even depression affect millions of people each year, and there is no definite cure or prevention for these illnesses, and the brain research is the key. This week is also commemorated as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week in US. It takes place from March 13 to 19 this year, and it is dedicated to spreading awareness about the autoimmune disease, multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is a condition that affects the central nervous system of an individual throughout the course of life. Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week was created to educate and spread awareness about the realities of living with multiple sclerosis. It also informs the general public on how to assist people who have been diagnosed. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system. This autoimmune disease has been in existence for centuries. It was first documented by a French professor, Jean Cuvier, in 1793. Professor Cuvier gave a detailed description of multiple sclerosis but failed to identify it as a separate disease. By 1836, a Swiss pathologist, George Eduard Rindfleisch, discovered that inflammations attributed to lesions were distributed in the blood cells. The first recognition of multiple sclerosis came in 1868 by the French neurologist Jean-Martin Charcot. He made observations and consulted reports from his predecessors. He named the disease sclerosis and plagues. Attempts at establishing a diagnosis for the disease were also made by Jean-Martin Charcot. He made observations and consulted reports from his predecessors. He named the disease sclerose and plagues. Attempts at establishing a diagnosis for the disease were also made by Jean-Martin Charcot. He observed the cognitive changes in his parents and made the observation that conceptions were slowly formed. He published more about the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis in a book called Charcot Triad. By 1965, an attempt was made to standardize the method of diagnosing multiple sclerosis was made by Schumacher. He stated that dissemination of lesions in the time and space and the signs and symptoms of MS cannot be explained by the process of other diseases. The requirements he gave were adopted and improved in 2010. The updated criteria by Poser and McDonald are still in use. By the 20th century, theories about the cause of multiple sclerosis led to effective treatments being developed in 1990s. By the 21st century, the treatments became refined using only one proven lesion for the diagnosis of MS. Although there is no cure for multiple sclerosis, improvements in the treatment methods give hope for future. The French neurologist Jean-Martin Charcot names the autoimmune disease as sclerose en plaques in 1868, and multiple sclerosis officially becomes recognized as a disease in 1870. The National Multiple Sclerosis Society is founded to support multiple sclerosis research in 1940. Cortisone is one of the first treatments used for multiple sclerosis attacks in 1950. Interferon is approved in the United States as a treatment for relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis since 1990s. So orange is the color used to represent multiple sclerosis week because of the similarity between its shape and an MRI brain scan. Butterflies are used to symbolize multiple sclerosis. A diagnosed multiple sclerosis patient has a life expectancy of 25 to 35 years. And there is no known cause for multiple sclerosis and having a mysterious case or cause. Multiple sclerosis affects up to 4 times the number of women than men. Multiple sclerosis symptoms are not definite. They vary from person to person. Multiple sclerosis patients can suffer a relapse and can have remission periods. By 2020, the number of multiple sclerosis cases worldwide amounted to 2.3 million. Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week aids in raising global awareness about the disease. This promotes collaboration in research and education on MS. Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week serves as a memorial. It allows for the remembrance of the people with multiple sclerosis who have passed it. The Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week creates a community for people with multiple sclerosis. The families and friends of MS patients also share experiences, offer support, and encourage one another. This week is also commemorated as Nutrition and Hydration Week. In UK, since 2012, Nutrition and Hydration Week has been held every full third week in March. It takes place from March 13 to 19 this year. Nutrition and Hydration Week was shifted to June in 2021 because of the strains on health and social care services at that time. Its goal was to raise awareness about the important role food and drink play in preserving our well-being in social and healthcare settings. The goal of Nutrition and Hydration Week is to connect with healthcare practitioners working in medical, catering, and care settings and use their knowledge to create a fantastic campaign that everyone can get behind. Roughly 3 million individuals are facing the risk of malnutrition in the United Kingdom and many more internationally. The global community needs to explore chances to raise awareness about the dangers and encourage good practices that can help combat malnutrition and dehydration. Preventing malnutrition and dehydration promotes health and well-being while also reducing pressure on health and social care systems in the treatment and assistance of persons who are malnourished or dehydrated. As the public health situations become more complex and budgets become tighter, Nutrition and Hydration Week remains a viable means of health intervention. And this week strives to emphasize, advocate, and celebrate local, national, and global advancements in the management of nutrition and hydration. The commemoration began with an emphasis on improving nutrition and hydration in health and social care settings, but it has since evolved. Nutrition and Hydration Week has attracted so many different groups and industries in recent years that everyone is now invited to encourage to participate in prioritizing and endorsing nutrition and hydration this week. This week is also commemorated as National Fix a Leak Week in the US, as every year residential leaks waste about 1 trillion gallons of water across the United States. So this is the week to track down and address those leaks. And the Fix a Leak Week public awareness campaign was created by the US Environmental Protection Agency, EPA Water Sense program in 2009 to urge people to locate and fix leaks in their homes and yards. And some communities provided free leak identification workshops, while others distributed leak detection kits to residents. Over 10,000 gallons are wasted by the average household week annually, and about 10% of households with water leaks waste a daily average of 90 gallons. Some common culprits include faulty toilet flappers, leaking valves, and dripping faucets. These leaks can be easy to address and require few hardware and tools. Fixing these leaks can help homeowners reduce water bills by 10%. This week is also commemorated as National Clean Out Your Closet Week in US. So people who have been meaning to clean out their closets use this week as a kickstart for changing their lifestyles, and find the whole nation doing the same thing motivates them. While spring around the corner, you might already be dreading the spring cleaning you. No, you should do. There's something that made a home under the sink. The floors are a bit sticky in spots, and we won't even talk about the stain that almost as the good old as the house is. It all sounds so overwhelming. It feels like there's too much to do, which is why it's better to take it one thing at a time. Relax, take a breath, and start with your closet. This week is also known as National Button Week in US. From holding the ends of your clothes together and bringing a tinge of color to our outfits, to being great for arts and crafts, buttons fill our world with beauty, and we are so thankful for them. The week was conceived by National Button Society to promote, preserve, and honor the rich history of buttons. Week-long exhibits are organized by button enthusiasts, and unique forms of buttons are explored across the nation. Throughout our history, buttons have captured the art, politics, culture, and fashion of a period in small emblems. Collecting buttons is a noted hobby that thousands of people take pride, and to preserve and honor the buttons as an expression of art. The Button Society was formed in 1938. The society brings button enthusiasts together from far and wide to celebrate the joy and share through buttons. From appreciation to discomfort, people have a lot of opinions about buttons. The Steve Jobs' innate phobia of buttons led him to invent touchscreen phones. It is also only reason when he chose to wear turtlenecks every day, as he couldn't bear to button his shirts. So buttons are largely viewed as items of utility and not a piece of art that signifies something larger than themselves. Their diminishing significance is viewed as a threat to its 5,000 old history, and so many fashion houses incorporate buttons into their high end pieces. The first button ever discovered, made of curved shell, is found during an Indus Valley excavation in 2000 BC. Componophobia, the fear of buttons, is a fairly common phenomenon with more than 70,000 average diagnoses a year. This phobia may be for the texture of button, the action of pushing it into a slit, the sight of the buttonholes, or any other feature. So, cute as a button is a popular idiom that is used to describe something that is small and adorable. Button is also used as a term of endearment. This week is also commemorated as Campfire USA Birthday Week. Campfire has created a visionary and distinctively American program where youth has a voice, families share meaningful time, and service to others is the measure of everyday activity. So you might remember Campfire as Campfire Girls or Campfire USA. Both names were used during different eras. Their commitment to diversity and inclusion from the beginning, their incorporation of youth voice in everything they do, and their use of cutting edge research to meet the needs of the today's family. This day is also commemorated as International Every Girl Once Day, helps bring attention to the women's rights worldwide, especially to the young girls. It involves talks, lectures, and conferences on women empowerment in every country. The goal is to achieve long term systematic change that addresses Yeah. So the goal is to achieve long-term systematic change that addresses women's rights to equality and inspires young girls to take pride in their most essential assets. They are encouraged to support each other and be ambassadors of the female empowerment movement, not just beneficiaries of it. The Every Girl Wins Institute introduced this holiday. Today is also National Coconut Torti Day. It is a day to celebrate the rich and creamy dessert that has people smacking their lips all over the world. A torti is basically a form of cake without flour. It is a dense, multi-layered cake made with breadcrumb or groundnut base and layered with heavy helping of cream, jam, buttercream, ganache, or fruit. Though the exact origins of National Coconut Torti Day are not known, the word torti is derived from a German word of the same spelling and pronunciation, which translates to cake. However, it has been linked to Italian word tort, which also stands for round type of cake. The word, the word coconut is derived from the Iberian word El Coco, which refers to a mythical hairy monster, which must have been a nod to the coarse hairs outside a coconut. The name is said to have been bestowed by Spanish and Portuguese explorers. However, there has been controversy about the actual origins of the coconut fruit, as some say it is originated in South Asia in the Ganges Delta, others believes it's originated in South America. We have a lot of uh, mentions in that it has originated in India. The main ingredients required to make a tart are breadcrumbs or nuts, sugars, and flavoring. Add-ons depend on individual recipes and they may include icing sugar, buttercream, butter, or fruit toppings. There are no limits to the level of creativity used in baking a tart. To begin baking a tart, the oven should be preheated to 350 degrees. Just a second, we will resume. So today is also commemorated as Commonwealth Day in Canada. The same is to renew the vows of international cooperation, Commonwealth solidarity, and to address global issues of the more than 2 billion people that constitute the nations of former British colonies. First observed as Empire Day, the day was later renamed Commonwealth Day, and Canada, still a constitutional monarchy, celebrates Commonwealth Day with great enthusiasm. The Royal Union flag is hoisted at federal establishments, and familiar gather to families gather to hear the message of unity and intercontinental solidarity from the Queen. Today is also commemorated as Canberra Day in Australia in the honor of its official naming on March 12, 1913. It is enjoyed by people from the stretches of Australian Capital Territory all the way to Jervis Bay Territory. The city is engaged into a 2 week-long celebration preceding the founding day. Many events related to the day, including an award ceremony, a hot air balloon carnival, and fundraisers are held throughout the month. And this today is also Adelaide Cup in Australia. It is known as public holiday in South Australia when the Adelaide Cup race occurs and has been an important part of Australia's landscape for centuries. It is a race by the South Australian Jockey Club for Group 2 thoroughbred horses. This race is second oldest horse in Australia next to Melbourne Cup. An important race, it brings together the best race jockeys and horses from South Australia and sometimes even of the northern states. Today is also National Napping Day in US. It was created in 1999 by a Boston University professor. And his wife, William Anthony, PhD, and his wife, Camille Anthony, created this holiday to spread awareness on the importance of getting enough sleep and its benefits. The holiday was meant to help make up for the amount of sleep lost when the hour changes. The date was chosen because studies have shown that people are already at their most tired and sleep deprived after daylight saving changes. The change of the hour really makes a difference, but National Napping Day can make you feel like there was no change at all. Today is also National Canine Veterans Day. Our little furry friends are already awesome as it is, but dogs who have been trained to serve the country are even more heroic. Plus, they look so cute and serious in their little uniforms. Canine dogs have been around ever since 1942, when an organization called Dogs for Defense was founded to train dogs to be sentries for supply depots. The program was approved by US Army in March 1942. The US Army Canine Corps was founded on March 13th, 1942, and the rest is history, literally. Canine dogs have comprised search and rescue teams at Ground Zero, served as security dogs, and more. We thank them for their service. Canine dogs are impeccably trained. Some canines are trained to bite down on the arms of criminals to keep them in place upon command. However, dogs are not allowed to draw blood, so they know exactly how hard to bite down to hold without being violent. That's incredible canine dogs. And there's something so precious about canine dogs gets when they are doing their job. Secondly, they get tiny little police vest, case closed. Today is also commemorated as Tarnaki anniversary. In New Zealand, which is the founding day of the province of Taranaki in New Zealand. Taranaki Anniversary Day is observed on the second Monday in March every year, and the day is selected not to coincide with Easter. Taranaki province is no longer applicable as authorities abolished province in 1876. Areas that were provinces are now referred as regions. Settlement in Taranaki province was facilitated by the Plymouth Company in 1841. Then the area was known as New Plymouth province, was later renamed Taranaki province. New Zealand is made up of two main islands, the North and South Islands, as well as few smaller islands. Taranaki is on the west coast of North Island. It is a beautiful piece of land where the volcanic peak, Mount Taranaki, stands tall, witnessing the history of the island. The indigenous people settlers were from Polynesia. These tribes settled on the island some 700 years ago and called themselves Maori. Today is also commemorated as National Open an Umbrella Indoors Day to test the popular superstition that opening an umbrella inside will bring bad luck. Superstitions are baseless beliefs held by people that influence their behavior. There are irrational beliefs that performing or not performing particular acts will lead to either bad luck or good luck. So National Open an Umbrella Indoors Day allows you to try your luck and see how your day goes. An umbrella is also called parasol, brolly, bumbershoot, rainshade, sunshade, gamp, or canopy. It is an apparatus made of cloth on a metal frame used to protect a person from rain, sunshine, and the elements. Umbrellas have been around since 1000 BC and were first designed by the Egyptians. They were mainly used by the nobility and were made from lotus leaves or feathers over a stick frame. Another superstition is that merely opening an umbrella indoors can't cause bad luck unless the umbrella is black. The superstition about opening umbrellas indoors can also be traced back to ancient Egyptian era when Egyptian worshipped the sun god. It was believed that the act of opening umbrella indoors would displease their god, and so this was avoided at all costs. The superstition also hold has its roots in circumstances surrounding the umbrella in England during the 18th century. At the time, umbrellas were not used as not as light and easy to operate. They were rigged with hard metal spokes and were much heavier than they are today. Thus, opening an umbrella inside where others were likely to come to harm was actually dangerous. The idea of opening an umbrella indoors progressed from a mere wanting to a mere warning to a superstitious belief. Today is also National Good Samaritan Day in US. To celebrate and encourage kindness and selflessness despite our differences, the phrase Good Samaritan is based on biblical parable. The day also commemorates the death of Catherine Kitty Genovese, who was killed in the New York, a little distance from her own home. It is believed that Kitty would have been lived if father has intervened during the attack. On this day, we are reminded to be our brother's keeper in all circumstances. Today is also commemorated as Smart and Sexy Day in United States. To celebrate the skills, quick wit, and ingenuity of magnificent women in their various career fields. According to the research, women constitute about 49% of the global workforce, and the number is set to increase as women have been actively seeking jobs and employment opportunities in recent times. Women have been in workplace since the beginning of the time, even during the age of prehistoric men, who were all hunters and gatherers. In the agrarian societies, when men moved from hunters to farmers, women were at forefront of processing farm produce and other tasks related to their assigned role of the support system to the men folks at that time. Historians has discovered and posit that many societies were once matriarchal with women at the center of ensuring the continued survival and existence of the family unit and subsequently the society. But in recent times, due to new narratives in the global world of what women should do or not do, and which jobs are fit for which sex or not, it has been hard for a larger percentage of women to secure employment, although the gap is being steadily bridged now. The idea of smart and sexy is that women are intelligent and ingenious when it comes to career and workplace, and they also have the ability to dress with such confidence and professionalism that comes with the job. So it is a statement of feminism and a competence of beauty and brains. So it is an initiative of Alliance of Career Development Nonprofits, ACDN. It is held every year in several parts of the world to train and sensitize women to be a self-confident in their lives as it relates to seeking job and career opportunities. The organization teaches women who attend the event job seeking skills and how to maintain a professional wardrobe no matter how little funds they have. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemoration. We thank you everyone for joining us. We request you to quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. It is mandatory. Feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. Do not forget to register on a daily basis. Registration is mandatory. So you can use the same form for every day to register for daily events. Registration link has also been shared in the chat box. After filling the feedback form, if you have not filled the registration form, quickly fill up the feedback form. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. You can join tomorrow with the same link. Before leaving, quickly fill up the feedback form raised in the form of polls.